If you want to upgrade your gear or your vehicle's depth, you're going to need a modification station. There's just no way around it. The modification station is responsible for building things like the depth modules for your Seamoth, prawn soup depth modules, and the Cyclops depth modules, along with things like the ultra high capacity tank once that blueprint is unlocked, repulsion cannon, and more. Now, these locations you can get to relatively early, probably within the first 2 to 3 hours of the game, and they kind of hover around 100 meters. They stay in a relatively safe location, so you don't have to worry about things like leviathans or anything crazy scary like that. The first thing we want to do is locate 0 point. It doesn't matter if you're on console or PC, this is going to work for everybody. The first thing you want to do is locate the coral tubes. As you can see, there's 2 coral tubes sticking out of the water. There's one right there, and there's one way over there. We want the first one. You can kind of see the way it looks. The reason we do this is because the life pod will spawn in various locations throughout the safe shallows. So we can't really use the life pod for anything because it'll be different for everybody. This particular one right here sticking out of the ground is the one we want, and it's the only one like this. We put our back to it. We can kind of come down into this valley. As you can see, I've kind of built near it. For this location, we're going to be heading towards the northwest mushroom forest, floating islands area of the map. Now, for this, we'll be below 100 meters, but we will not be going below 200 meters. That being said, if you have access to the rebreather, I suggest bringing this, as anything below 100 meters in water, you'll see your oxygen efficiency reduced. Wearing the rebreather is going to balance that out. Now, it's not needed, but I do recommend it. I'm also wearing a high capacity O2 tank. Your radiation suit is not needed here, but you will definitely need a laser cutter. And as far as predators here, what you really have to worry about is sand sharks and little things that'll nip you. But as far as leviathans and things like that, you have nothing to worry about unless you really overshoot this. From here, we're going to be turning to the left. I've marked it on my map right here, but it's about just slightly left of dead center between northwest and north. As you guys can see right there, that is dead center, and that's where we're going. Now, if you bypass this, for some reason you miss it, I like to kind of stay close to the ground when I'm looking for wrecks. It's too easy for me to overshoot them. But if you do overshoot it, you will find yourselves in the floating islands. Okay. There we go. As we start to enter the grassy plateaus area, there's actually on the side over here, there's actually some wreckage. If you have a hard time locating this wreck and you can find this wreckage, go ahead and just put your back to it like this. Just put your back to it. You can see there's Life Pod 13 right over there. If you just look right in front of you with your back to this, you can actually see the wreck. We want to go to the back here where it's starting to slope down. All right, so let's go inside. We're going to skip all this and go right to the back unless you can see any fragments or anything that you need here, but we'll go through this door. The door in front of you goes outside. There's a number of fragments and things on the ground. You will need to cut this. I've pre-cut it, but if you come in here, you have a modification station. Now for this one, we're going to be going towards the northeast mushroom forest, right on the edge between the grassy plateaus and the northeast mushroom forest. Now, of course, there are reapers in the area of the mushroom forest. We go ahead and pull this up. You can see this glowing cloud. This is the island, and there's a reaper in the water about right here to the right of it. There's also a reaper in the front of the Aurora. Now, we are not going to be going anywhere near these two. If you run into them, you have seriously overshot your location. I suggest having a radiation suit because it is within good proximity to the Aurora, and many of you probably have not fixed the engines yet. So just in case, wear your radiation suit. Make sure you have at least a high capacity tank. You will definitely need the laser cutter. We will not be going below 100 meters.
Welcome aboard, Captain.
So a rebreather is not needed. Now, from 0 point, we're going to be going kind of towards Life Pod 12 if you have it. If not, don't worry about it, because we're going to be shifting to the left a little bit to northeast. So let's go ahead and do that. As you can see, just a little bit of wreckage here. You can see this like peninsula, this jut. If we go to it, you can actually see there's like a life pod right here in front of it. More wreckage. Life pod 6. Life pod 12 is right in front of us, about 800 meters. But what we want to do from here, if we're facing life pod 12 or northeast east, we just go ahead and turn to the left a little bit. You can actually see there's a wreck right here. So let's go ahead and go around to the back. From here, we're going to go in through this. Right here, this first door. Let's go ahead and open this. Make sure you check behind the doors. I've seen many people forget that. But what we're looking for is this right here, this door. Now, I've pre-cut it, so you will definitely need the laser cutter in order to get through this door. Once you're through, here's a modification station fragment here. A number of different fragments to scan. We come through the elevator shaft, we come down. For me particularly, nothing spawned here as far as fragments that I was looking for. Now, I've seen as many as 3 or 4 down in just this location in previous playthroughs. It all depends on your playthrough and what the game sets up as far as respawns. So for this location, we're going to be heading south, basically pretty much behind the Aurora. Now, be careful what you're doing, because there are Reapers behind here, and if you do it right, it's not going to be an issue whatsoever. But it is possible if you're going too close to the back of the Aurora where there are Reaper Leviathans. So be careful. This right here is where we're going. We're going south from 0 point, about 600 meters away. As you see, I just put myself directly south, and it's actually not too far away from the cave opening to the Jelly Shroom Caves. That's right above the Degassi base. We're going to go through all the kelp, and then it's going to kind of drop off just a little bit. Right here. So it drops off right here. And right in front of us is the actual wreck. Now, for me, this wreck, at this particular playthrough that I'm on right now, modification station fragments did not spawn here for me because everything is randomized. That's why I'm giving you guys 3 locations. But no, you will need to cut this door open with your laser cutter fragment. You're definitely going to need those. Come in here and take a look. Now, I've seen as many as 3 to 4 different fragments in this particular wreck. For me, like I said, there is none. But I have found them here in the past, so it is definitely something to take a look at, and it's easy to get here very early game. And just as a side note, if you guys are interested in the Jelly Shroom location or you guys want to mark it, go ahead and turn around back towards the area where your particular life pod is. This wall right here. Just go straight to the wall. Turn right and follow it. Keep following it. And this is what you're looking for. This particular design as well. If you go straight down here, you will be right on top of the Degassi base. There you'll find the ultra high capacity tank. You'll find multi-purpose room. You'll find the water filter, all kinds of good stuff. But it is an enclosed underwater cave system, and it is very possible to get turned around. So be careful, right?